What's up guys, this is James says signing, and in this video I'm going to be going over a Cubic deck profile that I made. But before I go over that, I've got a few stuff to tell you guys, which is, first of all, I apologize for not uploading in February. So if I don't upload another one this month, I'm going to be uploading two next month to catch up with February, and maybe even a third one if I'm able to, just to show that I'm sorry as well. So yeah, that's the first announcement all done. And second of all, Cubics is a deck that I've been playing for, I can't even remember now. It's longer than I've been starting off with Salamangreats, which was in Soul Fusion. So roughly a bit before Cybernetic Horizon, I started playing this deck. And honestly, it's a pretty good deck. Like, it can burn out your opponent, and it can also just wipe out your opponent in 3 turns with Nova if you keep him alive. So yeah, let's start up the deck profile. So first of all, for the monsters, I am playing, obviously, the 3 Crimson Nova, the Dark Cubic Lord. So I'm guessing you guys know the ratios of Cubics by now. This is your big guy that does 3000 damage every standby phase. Every one of your standby phase, each player can attack twice. It's quite an easy special summon, so why not run 3 of him? And we also run the best non-big guy in the deck, which is Duja, the Cubic Vessel. Basically a foolish barrel for the archetype. You know the drill. Send Karma, activate it for the Rotor effect. Yeah, you got a basic tutor for the Rotor. We also got a little tutor for the Duja, which is Summoner Monk. We run 3 Summoner Monk because by discarding spells we can special summon out Duja, for instance, and then from there go into something like Baguska, or if you want to put some else in deck like Dweller or something like that. Also run 3 Cubic Seeds. I only run those just for the name Cubic, and also for the effect of, and the Cubic counter can be pretty good as well. And we also run, just for the names, 1 Emperor, 1 Behemoth, and 1 of the Cubic Kings. So you can either run, with the Cubic cards here, I'd suggest definitely running these 2, or 2 of these, or 2 of those. But I suggest running either this or the level 2 Cubic Beast, since it only needs 1 Cubic card. You could do 800 burn damage, and also that could put Unification live in your graveyard. Also run for hand traps 2 Ghost Ogre Snow Rabbit. I may change that to DD Crow or Ash Blossom. Just depends on the meta that you're in. But for me, I think Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit is pretty good, since you don't really care too much about effects as long as they don't kill Nova. And then I also run, to rank the monsters, 1 Gen X Ala Birdman, since it's unlimited this and all that. But Gen X Ala Birdman's pretty good for this deck, since you can bounce Duja after doing the Foolish, and then that could get your Nova in your hand live as well. Just makes the deck a bit more easier, and it allows you to go into some synchro plays. So that rounds up the monster lineup. And now let's head off into the spells. For the spells, we run the obvious triple Cubic Karma. So Rhoda, also on field, you can give one of your Cubic monsters a boost of 1600 for each V-Jam you send with the effect. So that can be pretty good as well, but we obviously run it for the Rhoda effect. Okay guys, sorry for the little mess up there. I had to check something that went wrong. But anyway, back to where I was going to. We run triple Cubic Wave. Sorry for mismatching rarities, but oh well. So Cubic Wave doubles the attack from your monsters, well, Cubic monsters, and halves the attack for opponent's monsters. Quick OTK allows you to basically screw your opponent over in 1 turn if you have Nova in the field. And The attack points are permanent, as well as it has an engrave effect where you can banish cubic monsters from graveyard, killing that, and you can put cubic counters on your opponent's monsters. Then we have one of the best spells in the deck, in my opinion. Foolish Burial Goods. Send your karma, a quick way to get karma out so that you can go into something like Crimson Nova off of the Rotor. We also run 2 Pot of Dualities and 1 Pot of Desires. I was thinking of running, instead of the Pot of Dualities, just like as well as the Pot of Desires, just triple Pot of Extravagance. But then that would make the deck pricing really, really high, and I want to keep this deck like decently budget. So like there's gonna be some cards here that may be a bit much in price, but others that aren't as much anymore. So I just wanted to keep it semi-budget. So then for the one-offs, apart from Desires, we have 1 Hornet Drones, probably the worst spell in the deck really, since you only get to do it on the first, you only get to use it on the first turn, and sometimes you have better plays. So if you want to, you can swap that out for something else. 1 Dark Hole, 1 Card Destruction, and 1 Monster Reborn, for obvious reasons. And those round up the spell lineup. Now heading off into the traps, we only run like 6 traps. Got triple unification of the Cubic Lords. Basically, we don't run it for the fusion because we don't have the fusion in this deck. If you want to put it in there, feel free to. The extra deck's kind of like freedom for whatever you want to put inside of there. I just have like some recommendations. But we mainly run it for the engrave effect, where you can have a cute monster sent to the graveyard or removed from the field, I think it might be, and you can special summon out one of the king, not the king, the emperor or the behemoth that I showed you in the monster lineup. And we also run for the last 3 traps. These can be really anything. I put Summon Gate, Torrential Tribute, and Storm Mail Force. Obviously, out of all the traps, Summon Gate is the one that I'd say probably take it out for something else, because it isn't really the best card to use unless you're going against a deck that does a whole load of extra deck summoning and does way more than 3, which, kind of thinking about it, Salmon Grates may be a deck that you might use that on, but I'd suggest using Summon Limit instead. But anyway, that rounds up the trap lineup. But also Storming Mail Force, I forgot to mention, is really good against Link since it bounces them to the extra deck. So now into the extra deck. We don't really have that anything that we could say you kind of have to run. It's just like pretty good recommendations. Well, actually, some of them you may have to run. So we got 1 Kagari and 1 Palastag. So that's our Link 1, Link 2s just off the bat. You can run almost anything. I'd maybe say that Link Karibo instead of that maybe Palastag. But Palastag also allows you to attack and defense position monsters with Nova if it's underneath it, so you can do piercing. It helps. 1 Decode Talker for the negates and the boost. Bagushka, or you could run Dweller or any other rank 4 that is pretty good at the moment. I only run Bagushka because I don't have Dweller. Then we have Fa Dawn Dos Dragon Street. I don't know how to say it at this precise moment. I'm a bit tired. But anyway, so that card's just basically negating spell and trap cards for you, so that you can attack in. And 1 Black Ghost Dragon, so you can just nuke the entire board. 1 Stardust, 1 Stardust Spark, and 1 Scarlet Red Dragon Archfiend. So I like Scarlet because you can nuke your opponent's board and deal damage to them, as well as have a big 3000 attack point monster. It can help when you're in some difficult situations. but none of this is really necessary. The only things that I say are necessary maybe is like Bagushka and Decode and Kagari. But apart from them, I think you can just like run whatever you want in the extra deck. Maybe even take out like some other cards in there for Ghost Reaper. Like for instance, you take out Ogres for Ghost Reaper, and you can put in stuff like Violent Chimera for Salamangreats and other decks like that. So anyway, that rounds up the cubic deck that I have. So honestly, this deck, as I said before, is really, really good. If you want to pick up like a small budget deck that isn't like that, if you already have Salamangreats and you're getting sick of them and you want to play something else that's budget but is decently good, I'd recommend just like picking up a cubic deck and playing about with it, see what you can make with it. So that brings us to the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this deck profile, and if you did, be sure to click that subscribe button and also click the notification button so that you're notified every time I upload, as well as liking this video does help as well. And if you want to tell me anything that you think I may be able to improve in this deck that also is still budget, then please leave a comment down below. And if you want me to look at some other decks that are maybe more meta relevant, I may be able to do them, but not as like this, maybe as something like Wagopo or Nexus, Yu-Gi-Oh! Nexus or something like that. But anyway, for now, thank you guys for watching, and this is Ninja Boy James signing out. Peace!